Hello, this is Astro Breeze, and welcome to our weekly transits. And let's get up our chart and look at what we got coming up. So we're looking at the week. Again, we start on Tuesdays. We starting with August 22nd. So a couple of interesting things we have happening this week. And if we look at the chart, you can see if you look at the sun, up in the eighth house. It's at 29 Leo, and I bet you can guess what's going to happen. You can predict the future. If any of you said that the sun is going to move into Virgo, you are right. So tomorrow the sun is going to move into Virgo. And that's significant anytime a planet changes signs or houses, but we can't do houses when we're doing mundane astrology for everybody because it's just doesn't work. But it changes signs for everybody, no matter if you live in the north or the south hemisphere. That sun is still moving into Virgo. So we have that happening, and that will soon join Mars will move out of it before the sun gets there, and Mercury is going to be retrograding. So we can expect another little conjunction there, I think. We'll move ahead and see. I think Mercury goes back to 12 degrees, so they will cross. So that's significant number one. So we're kind of getting to the end of that area. Either season, the end of the summer, getting close to where the end of the middle of summer in the north and end of the middle of winter in the southern hemisphere. I think I said that right. And then the next thing is you can look at just a little higher in the ninth house. You'll see Mercury at 21 degrees Virgo, and it says a little S there. So that means it's stationed. It's like this thing S means almost stopped. S means stopped. It means station. But for all purposes, it is it's very intense because it's stationary, so to speak, from our perspective. It has that effect. So what does that mean? That means that energy is being blocked. It's on the other side. It's the sun is in the way. So that's blocking a lot of that celestial energy of Mercury. And it's not, and that's where I think things foul up. And it's like, again, I think it's a lot coming into it too. I've thought about this, and you just have to watch what happens in your life. I kind of see things happening almost before it goes in because the planet is slowing down. It's like flying, blah, blah, blah. It really doesn't. Just the way we have to talk about this. It doesn't go retro. It doesn't go backward. It's just because the way it goes big, out of our view, and it looks like it's going backwards, but it's not. Um, anyway, it's that energy is changed. It's shifted, because there's something that's in the way, and that makes it disturbed. It's like when the moon is we get an eclipse or something, the energy is like on, and all of a sudden it's off, or it's and then it's back on again. So that's like an interruption. How it's like a power surge. That when the electricity goes off and then it comes back on, sometimes it blows things. I've lost several things in the past with that. So that effect is kind of makes that more intense. So the energy starts arcing out, and it's things, electronic things usually, or communication things under the rulership of Mercury are affected. Communications, repairs, the natural runnings of something, the nervous system of a computer or yourself. It's just the runnings of it, that communications, internal communications, things get fouled up a little bit. So that's what happens, and it happens 3 times a year. Mercury goes retrograde, and it's like 21 and a half days or so that it goes retrograde. So I've learned to make friends with it like this, and this works for me. I try to go do the stuff that I've put on the back burner. Sometimes you're forced to. Sometimes if you do it with an open mind to go take care of stuff, things work better. So it's like, for me, I got like, okay, I've got 3 weeks to go back over projects that I need to either get going or throw away. It's like, get it going or get it out of here. It's like, that's what's, that mercurial stuff has you do. It's a time to go get rid of things, go assess, do I need this? Yeah, a fur-lined sink, electric dog polisher. I don't need these things. That was old Steve Martin routine. But anyway, um, so it gives you a chance to recess, go back over, redo, stuff that you didn't do right. You want to go redo it now, maybe. And sometimes you're forced to. It's like, oh gosh, got to write that paper over again. It's like I knew I had to. Now I have to. Um, so it's if you approach this with like, oh good, I get to redo this. I get to do this. I get to make this better. I get to go over it. I get to clean this. It's like we get so I don't know, we all get sort of entitled feelings, so it kind of brings us a little bit more down to earth, grounds you, and makes you pay attention to those deals and be much more appreciative and grateful for a lot of things we have. Because sometimes it's not till it breaks down that you go like, wow, that was really nice. I had it good with that knife. Darn, it broke. My favorite paring knife, or my favorite vacuum broke. So these some of the things that happen. So those are the big things that are going on now. But we still have this trine in place. We can still see it's like Mars, Pluto, and Uranus. Uranus is it's a little out of orb, but they're all in Earth signs. So we have this, and now that planet we were just talking about, that one, yeah, Mercury. Gosh, you get the astrobabble mind. Mercury is kind of joining the crew. It kind of came in at close to this, so it's making a closer trine over to Uranus, and it's slowing down here. So what would we expect? We would expect energy of the mind, investigating, because it's in Pluto here because we got Mars closer there, so we have more of that investigating under the cover, get to things, getting people are getting really pissed off about a lot of stuff. And then they're not afraid to say it, with this, or to tell you in this detailed way. It's like, okay, I get to sit down and hear the lecture now, that Virgo, okay, and I didn't do this and I didn't do that and I didn't do this and didn't do that. So instead of throwing it out, pay attention to it, humble yourself, and say, yep, you're right. I didn't do that. And I didn't do that. And I didn't do that. Thank you for the list, Mercury and Mars and Virgo. Try to say it without being too sarcastic and smug. But that trine over to Uranus just kind of brightens it up, and it makes it maybe a little bit out of the blue, crystallizes new things. Sometimes if you do that, then something good comes along. So that is still in place, this grand trine. We don't see them that often like that. But we do have a couple of oddball things happening. Moon in Scorpio right now, well, it's opposing, we just talked about the stuff with Venus, but it's opposing, it's, going through, opposing this opposite sign of Taurus. So we've got, Moon over um, uh, Jupiter, maybe restricting things a little bit, maybe being emotional about expanding or emotional spending. And then it's going to then soon go over Uranus. That's something out of the blue. You might decide to do that, or something out of the blue um, opposes you emotionally. Coming up any minute now. No, but I mean seriously, it's like the moon moving that. It's making some of those aspects, and then it's also going to be making squares over to Venus and the sun. So the moon today could be triggering a lot of things with people. Okay, going through Scorpio because it's a fixed sign, and anytime we got fixed sign stuff now, the moon into fixed signs every those few months are going to set off things with the planets that are there. So right now, the moon will make its final square over to the sun before the sun leaves Leo into Virgo. Gosh, we had a lot on this day. I mean, this is an important day. I'm sure I'm probably missing a few things. Mars. What else I want to say with Mars? Oh, well, let's see. This is retrograde. Was it more yesterday into? It's going so fast. Anyway, Mars is also opposing Neptune. I was trying to get it there. See, look, it's like it went from 27 to 26 yesterday. See, and then they're like passing. I go to today, and then Mars goes to 27, and then that goes to 26. So it's like right now, they're like both they're both moving, as I should say. Of course they are, but I mean, they're moving in opposite sort of directions. So we have that energy of Mars opposing Neptune, and that's where we can, um, what would I say? Power plays. We've got or things that are maybe a little bit fuzzy. We've got that Martian want to move ahead, and we got fog. That's the best way I can probably say it. It's like, I want to move ahead, but things aren't clear. You're saying this, but I can't see it for myself yet. And it's like both. As soon as that gets off the line there, then that will clear up. Well, so I think I had some other notes for you on that. Oh, before the sun totally moves into the next sign, um, the sun is at the spot of Regulus. And Regulus is is between 29 and Leo and 0 Virgo. So anybody that has anything at that 29 Leo or 0 Virgo has that in that going through the fixed star of Regulus, which is a very noble place. And I just have to mention, I know President Trump has that sun in Leo rising right in Regulus, and he's getting a lot of attention and things right now. It's about him because that's on it would be on his first house, right on his first house cusp. So just interesting to note. So look for that. Let's see what else. What else did I have on you? Oh, so a big part of this opposition here. So we want to have this creativity with Mercury in the drive energy Mars, and in this organized, meticulous planet. And the creativity also is from coming from Neptune, because it's in Pisces and it's opposing that. But just make sure that your creative fantasies maybe get grounded, or maybe get into something, that they're just not fantasy for no reason. um oh, so let's see, just try to get our creative imagination in gear. Okay, and then what else do I have on this day? Got a lot here. We talked a little bit. No, we didn't. I talked about it in the last one. I'm sorry. Venus is squaring Neptune. Not Neptune. Venus. Gosh, Venus is squaring Jupiter. So it's like pleasure and luxuries and a little bit of overindulgence. So be careful we don't party too hardy, spend too much money, overindulge, overpromise. It's like right now or the next day or two, overextend yourself, pleasures for others, because we got the square involved. So watch for that. And let's see. Oh yeah, the other note I had on Mars and is opposing Neptune is we might be in a kind of a fantasy realm, because there's some really interesting parts of that. It's kind of in a kite formation, with the outer planets. We have actually Mars, if you think about it this way, Mars. Um, oh well, it's basically, I don't want to confuse you too much. It's basically drawing more attention. Mars is, opposing Neptune, and then we have see where it's right over here, Mars, Neptune. There we go here. But then on either side we have two powerful planets. They're kind of the same distance away. They would be a sextile away. So we see here is Neptune is in Pisces, and it's 2 signs away from Pluto. So we have this little sextile relationship here, and then we have Neptune 2 signs away on this sextile relationship, and it's 2 degrees on one way and 3 degrees on the other, pretty close. So we kind of have that, a little bit of a kite formation, which is, one of those unusual chart figures. But it's like grounding that fantasy, putting that fantasy energy into something that's for real, and then the Mars trine Pluto over here, because we're in both. You've got Mars trine Pluto, and it's going to be, there it is on Thursday. See it exactly, Mars trine Pluto. You think about power plays, things that aren't working out for somebody or something. It's like the power play. I think you have to be integrous. So I think if you're not integrous, this is not going to work out for you. But I think if you are integrous, this will work out for you. So this is going to happen around Thursday. It's probably in place now. So there's like a struggle can be between a couple different, 2 different perspectives, but there's like something bubbling up that we all might eventually be involved in, or whether we like it or not. We have that, Mars, uh, making that trine to Pluto. It's kind of funky. Kind of funky there. I mean, it's like you got two malefics, but I don't even want to say it's a good conversation. It's just, maybe it's not horrible. It could be like, um figuring out how they want to mess with something, kind of it's like two malefics again. And then we got the Virgo meticulous, and then we've got the old structure. How can we preserve the old structure? How can we keep stuff in place? How can we keep um can we do the same power play again and get away with it? Can we do the same things that we did before? I don't think so, but that's kind of the stuff that's coming up to look at. All right, what else do we got on Thursday? Thursday, also the moon, moon in Sag is making a square. It's kind of at that same weird position. It's making a square over to the sun. Let's do it this way, because we got mutable sign, and then the sun now in Virgo, mutable sign. So if it were back a few degrees, but anyway, you get the idea. So it's making a square to sun, moon square, and then we have moon Saturn square. So here again, Thursday could be sort of an emotional day, because the moon in Sag, that freedom loving, and on the emotional, and yay, it's got kind of like in bad favor with the sun that day. It's making a square there, not real fun. And then a square to Saturn, so it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe Debbie Downer kind of day. Your emotions may be dashed. I usually like the Sagittarius moon, just because it's a bit more upbeat, and it just, it might be just like maudlin and harangued and harassed, and kind of that kind of a day. So just watch that, because again, it's in a funky spot. It's in like the midpoint between the sun and Saturn, which would make sun and Saturn, as get closer together to make an opposition. And you can see here, the sun is at 1 degree, and if we know the sun moves a degree a day, in 3 days, it will be making that perfectly. So it's coming into it from Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll see in a minute that it will get in opposed Saturn. So we got, that's the yearly sun opposed Saturn. Like, what does it say here about in somebody's chart? Let's see. You feel the forces are against you in life. You're always that are stopping you from what you want. Father figure, strict and imposing. Adult, you continue to feel restrictions. You may also feel pushing beyond the restrictions. Your challenge is to create your own rules and beliefs on which to build your life. Remember, this is I'm using Solar Fire, and this is the natal chart. You can click on anything in the chart and have it give you that. So yeah, it's going to be that kind of a day. It's sort of, I don't know, for now I'm just going to say it's going to be a suck day. The moon is being squashed. Emotions, maybe an optimistic urge is going to be like, oh man, say the F word, whatever. And then you got Saturn in the mix. Yeah, and then you got that opposition growing there. What else was there? Yeah, we got a couple of things there. So anyway, that's going to be kind of a yucky. Oh yeah, got the moon, and then we got the Saturn opposition here. Yeah, yuck. Okay, so next day, Friday, a lot of things are changing. The moon one, though, I mean, the sun is getting closer to this, and I have the lines. I'm gonna have to put them where they're as it's getting closest. It's kind of opposite anyway. They should be real thick, but they're not. But anyway, you can see that it's actually getting closer with 2 degrees and 3 degrees. What else on Friday? We've got the Venus Mars at 28, and we got Venus, not Venus, I meant Pluto Mars trine exact. There it is. We were just talking about that. Actually, Venus is like making a weird square. Was it like a semi-square or something over to Mars? So we've got more. We might have to pay the price for overindulgences, but they can be motivating. It's like, oh God, I got a headache. I guess I gotta get on my cleanse or something like that. on Friday. So it's kind of like the hangover from Thursday, maybe the icky day from Thursday. And here, look at showing here, Venus has got the square and a half over to Neptune. So here's could be some false data, false illusion. Maybe you're believing something that might be too good to be true, or something that's coming up um, to fog or this seems like what it really is. It's like something's too good to be true, or somebody's lying to you, or there's something that's false being presented as true. Maybe that's the best way to put it. And we can see right here that's going nice, opposition growing. And let's see what else is there this week. Let's see, I think on Saturday we got some more lunar aspects. Oh yeah, the moon now moves into Capricorn. So the moon is going to be making a nice trine over, because it's in Capricorn, over to the sun. So that'll lighten things up. I think by the weekend, some things might start to lighten up. And then it'll be like sextile. The moon will be sextile over to Saturn. So that will be better. Maybe it'll be more creative approaches to doing something. We got maybe, this is part of that Mercury retrograde. It's like, okay, I guess I do have to clean the garage, or I guess I do have to do that, or I've accepted the fact that this went wrong and it's not that bad and I can deal with it. Boom, right in there. But then we still have that opposition hitting hard right there. Boom, boom. What do we say here? We already said it. You feel the forces are against you in life. Okay. Stopping you from doing what you want. That kind of a thing. What else did I want to share you? Will this do the sextile? I don't know if it'll do the sextile. I don't think so. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, you can balance your personal needs with your duty to others. Okay, so doing things that way. You're thoughtful and will have opportunities to build a respected place in society. Okay, so maybe doing more social stuff with that energy. All right, and what kind of things are moving else? They're moving out. Mars is just about at the end of Virgo. Should be out of there. There it is. Okay, so Sunday, Mars moves into Libra. And that now it's not in a place where it likes, right? It's in its detriment. Mars likes to be in Aries. Let's see, call this up. But in Libra, a strong desire. This is kind of nice. They give you a little bit better. You have a strong desire for diplomacy and justice, a strong creative urge. You may become indecisive when opposed. Okay. Because it's in Libra, I'll kind of balance the things. So anyway, we're going to have Mars maybe in a slightly weakened place. But again, if we have this retrograde energy of Mercury making us go over things in life, the energy will maybe be like, well, how can I make this better, not only for me, but for others, or not only for me, but for my environment, or not only for me, but for the future, fill in the blank. So this is going to be an interesting time. And we can see we're ending this week here on some, we see the trines in here. We've got this happening, and the moon is going to be going by Pluto, reactivating that Earth trine, the big grand Earth trine that we have in there. Saturday and Sunday, yeah, mainly Sunday it'll activate it because it'll be getting those degrees. And then we've got these weird squares and a halves. That's a square and a half. That is, what is it, 135-degree angle, which is just kind of an icky, you can think of a square and a half. It's not the most wonderful thing. So we got the moon, making that with the sun. We've got Neptune making that with Venus. And that continues on with that little bit of disillusionment. I think we're going to be fed a heap of garbage propaganda. I think we're going to have runaway news on a whole bunch of crap that is going to be thrown up from the past, that is going to try to make people swallow stuff they don't want to swallow, and it's not going to work. It's going to be just like vomitous city. I think around, this is globally. So that's why I'm making that statement. Venus values, it's going to be against what we know. It's against our heart, being in Leo. So things, the disillusionment is we're not going to swallow whatever is going to be pushed at us. That's just how I see this. And then we have Jupiter and Mars with that square and a half. Again, and that's just like the energy, that big, large Jupiter and Mars that Mars is not in a strong place, and Venus and Jupiter is not in a real strong place either. It's grounded, it wants to be expanded, and then Mars is wanting to change. So this is like a stuck energy. So things begun now, I don't think are going to stick. All right, I think that's about all. Let's just look at Monday and then we'll wrap it up. We've got some inconjuncts or the quincunxes forming, which is further going to just keep doing what I said. It's like Mars is just now, it's just not happy at all. And it's making this yucky aspect with Saturn. As Mars gets more into Libra, it's going to make that yucky 150-degree angle to Saturn, which is just not happy. It's just like, it's just not in common. This is not the way to do it. We don't want to do it. It's not going to happen. And then the moon here is in Aquarius, which is that egalitarian. It's not for the good of all, whatever it is going to happening, and many happenings. And it's, opposing Uranus. So there's going to be some sudden, maybe emotional problems with some of this. And look, we've got this Uranus now stationing ready to change direction, which will be there on Wednesday the next week. So that we have that one next week to look forward to. Next week we'll have our Uranus retrograde, but still, we've got some odd energies happening, and we got a lot of retrogrades happening. So there's going to be some stuff that's going to come up that we're not going to like, and that I don't think we're going to abide by because of all the retrogrades. Okay, that being said, we will see everyone next week. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching. All right, have a good week. Stay tuned. Remember that stuff with Mercury with everything, and keep it light, keep it real. Bye for now.